Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another bi-weekly grocery haul. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, and I want to show you some items that I picked up at Sobeys today. This is going to be the first part of my bi-weekly grocery haul video. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome here. My name is Janice. I live and work in Manitoba, Canada. I work at a Canadian grocery store chain called Sobeys. That is one of my two jobs. It's my primary job, actually. And I do some of my shopping at Sobeys, and I do some of my shopping at Real Canadian Superstore. Today's haul is from Sobeys. Sobeys and Safeway are Scene+ sponsors. That's a points program. You can earn and redeem points in-store for groceries, and also to use at the movie theater as well, but I choose to use mine for groceries. You can earn and redeem points in store there, and as a Sobeys employee, I also have a small staff discount of 10% off my first $150 spent every week, so that is helpful as well. Today, as I said, was Tuesday, November 4th, and that is 10% Tuesday. And what that is the first Tuesday of every month, provided you are a Scene+ card holder. If you spend a minimum $50 before taxes, you have the choice of either 10% off your bill or bonus Scene+ points. And the points are 200 points per $20 spent. So that is what I did today. I picked up some items after work. I actually worked an 8.5-hour shift today, which is unusual for me. My shifts are not usually that long, so I'm really quite tired and sore. And after work, I ducked over next door to my physiotherapist for a treatment, and then went back to work to pick these up. Now, you don't have to be a Scene+ card holder to shop at Sobeys. Most of the items in our flyer every week are sales for everybody. There are some sales each week that are unique to Scene+ card holders, but this is separate. The first Tuesday of each month is 10% Tuesday, and that is the only way you can reap a benefit from that day is by being a Scene+ card holder. If you don't have, then you don't get the 10% discount, and you certainly don't get any points, right? So I picked up some items yesterday. This is something I look forward to each month. As an employee, because I have that 10% discount, some employees, when they do their 10% Tuesday shopping, when given the choice between the 10% off or the points, they go for the 10% off because they already have a 10% staff discount. So if they take the additional 10%, they're getting 20% off on that day. Myself, I go for the bonus points. If you've been watching my channel or following my grocery hauls for any length of time, you will know this, because you know that what I do is I save up my PC Optimum points at Superstore and my Scene+ points at Sobeys all year long, trying to accumulate a nice large amount, and then I have a nice amount to spend during the Christmas season, and that's what I did again today. So let me show you what I picked up. At the end of my shift, I was shopping hungry and my body was hurting, and I caved to temptation and I bought snacks. No other excuse for it except for that. I've been serving customers, and you know, the good side to that is sometimes you see things coming through your line and it's like, oh, I didn't know we had that. I didn't know that was out already. That's so cool. I didn't know that was on sale. That's great. But that's also a downfall too. So I ended up buying some snacks. I am a Christmas fanatic. I love Christmas. It's less than 2 months till the holidays, till Christmas holidays, and I am excited about everything Christmas, basically. So when I saw that these ice cream sandwiches and holiday ice cream were back for the season, I decided to grab some. I like ice cream sandwiches at the best of times, and I love mint chocolate chip. So the fact that it's peppermint, so much that, you know, it's fine. I mean, to me, it's one and the same. Mint chocolate chip, peppermint, either way, one and the same. It's still going to be like a mint chocolate chip to me. And I've had these before, and I really quite like them. The ice cream is a shortbread flavor, shortbread variety. Chapman's, they both are Chapman's brand, and these were both $6.79 each. Those are, that price is before my 10% staff discount. And then these Chips Ahoy, I know that for those of you that are US viewers, I know you guys have Chips Ahoy there, and you have probably more varieties, more flavors than we have here. But I don't know that you have caramel chocolate bars down there. I'm pretty sure of that, or maybe you do by now, I don't know. But in past, I've sent care packages of Canadian treats to US friends, and caramel bars was not something that they had in the States. So perhaps you do by now, I don't know, but that seems to be a uniquely Canadian chocolate bar. So the fact that we had Chips Ahoy cookies with that flavoring, I decided to give that a try. Those were $4. Mandarin oranges, this 4-pound box, this is also referred to here as Christmas oranges because we almost never see these, except these boxes of Chinese mandarin oranges. They only come out during the Christmas season. And I remember growing up in Saskatchewan, one province west of where I live, currently, and there each of those oranges were wrapped in like little green tissue paper, and it's just a really cool childhood memory. But I tend to prefer the mandarins to navel oranges. I find them easier to peel, but these boxes of mandarins, we only see them during the Christmas season. They are on sale right now for $5.99 per 4-pound box. A couple of weeks ago when they came out, they were more like $7.99, so they have come down in price just a bit. This is a 5-pound roll of lean ground beef. That was $35.49. There's a deal on right now that may not be the world's best price per pound for beef. Certainly it's gone up in the last couple of years, but the reason I bought it is every once in a while they have a deal where if you buy one of these 5-pound tubes of ground beef, you'll get 500 Scene Plus points automatically. So that's every 1,000 Scene Plus points is $10. So to get 500 points is an instant $5. And what I'll probably do, what I normally do is I take this 5-pound tube and I break it up into 1-pound portions and freeze them flat in Ziploc freezer bags. So I'll probably freeze 4 portions and keep 1 out to cook tonight. And then there's 5 meals right there. So I grabbed 1. I just didn't have room in the budget to buy 2. If I had, I would have gotten $10 in points. So not so bad. But still, that's 5 meals. So that's pretty good. And this does seem to come on sale every once in a while. And the last thing I bought were these goldfish crackers. We like those here. My daughter, I think, likes the more savory ones a little bit more. Not my favorite thing in the world, but last year they've had a variety out that was like maple syrup ones. It had like Buddy the Elf on the packaging, and this year the limited edition one appears to be this variety, this French toast ones. So I decided to give those a try, and we have tasted them already. They're really quite good. They are it looks like they were $3.50 if you bought one, and if you bought more than one, then they were 50 cents off each. So if you bought just one, it would be $3.50, but because I bought 2, they were $3 each. So that is what I bought. Let me show you the breakdown here. Here's the 50 cents off of each one. And I earned the 500 points on the ground beef. Down here, I earned 5 points in the produce department for buying the oranges. My corporate employee discount was $6.63. My subtotal was between $65 and $66 before my staff discount. So because the points are 200 points per $20 spent, my subtotal being over $60, that meant that I earned 600 points for Scene Plus Member Day. So again, $6.63 off brought my total down to $59.44. So here is my points breakdown. I earned 1,105 points, just like I said. The 500 points on the beef, 600 points for the Scene Plus Member Day, and the 5 points for the oranges. My closing balance, well, my balance going into today, rather, was 32,733 Scene Plus points. And with that 1,105, that will put me at 33,838 Scene Plus points. Those points take 24 to 48 hours to hit your account. And then once you do, then that balance will be reflected. So right now I'm sitting at $320. Every 1,000 points is $10, so being at 32,733, I'm at $320 right now. When those points hit, like I said, I'll be at 33,838. That means I'll be at $330 in points. Actually, only like less than 200 points off of $340. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. What I try to do all year long is I try to save my PC Optimum points from Superstore and my Scene Plus points and use them during the Christmas season. So probably what I'm going to do is wait until the end of November and see if I can get 2 good-sized shops out of both Sobeys and Superstore. Like I said, when these points hit my account, I'll be at $330 in points, just shy of $340. My goal actually, before the end of November is maybe to hit $350 in Scene Plus points. That would be nice. I'd like to at least get that. So we'll see. It just depends on what my offers are over the next couple of weeks or what offers are in the flyer over the next couple of weeks to see if I can get there. Pharmacy purchases also count towards that too. And at Superstore, I'm between $460 and $470, I think, in points right now. So if I can get that one up to $500 and get this one up to $350, then that will be really great because there's so many other expenses at Christmas with gifts and gift wrap and cards and postage. If I can cover all my baking supplies and my turkey dinner and then some, and maybe even a few gifts, because Superstore is kind of like a department store too, great. That takes a lot of pressure off. So that's my goal. It's something I work towards all year, every year. And like I said, a lot of the stuff at Sobeys, when you go into the flyer, a lot of those sales are for everybody. There are a handful of things each week that are Scene Plus card sales only. So you have to have a Scene Plus card to get those sales. The 10% Tuesday is just a once a month thing, and you need the card to get any benefit out of that day. Some people don't want the Scene card, and that's okay, but this is meant to encourage people to have one, because even if you don't use it at any other time, even if you just bring your Scene card out that once and you make a $200 purchase every single month on that day, you're going to save $20 each time. That's $240 saved over the course of a year. So that's the whole idea, is like, you just get one, take advantage. Even if you're not worried about the points, just take advantage of the Scene Plus sales, because they're good, they're pretty decent, and use it that once a month on 10% day, because $200, you brought it down by $20 every single month. So that's the goal behind it. They try to encourage people to have it, you know, just to take advantage of the sales and such, and days like this, because groceries prices have been on the increase like crazy the last couple of years, as we all know. Anyway, that's it for now. The next part that you will see will be whatever I pick up at Superstore on the rest of my bi-weekly grocery haul. So stay tuned for part 2. Okay, today is Saturday, November 8th, and after work this evening, I did a Superstore grocery pickup order. So I'm going to show you what I picked up, or what I purchased at Superstore this evening. I know in my last grocery haul video, I said I don't really love doing grocery pickup orders at Superstore, because you can't really examine things, specifically meat and fruit, your produce especially. This really wasn't an issue this time. So I wasn't ordering any meat, and the produce I was getting was really quite minimal, as you'll see as we go along here. So I figured it was safe to do so. It's a $1 pickup fee, so $1 for a bit of convenience was a good thing. I worked until 7 o'clock tonight. It's after 8 o'clock Saturday evening right now. So I popped over to Superstore right after work. My time slot was between 7 and 7:30. The only issue I really have is that when you place this order, whether you use a credit card or a debit card, they pre-authorize your card for a certain amount, and then they adjust it once they know what your total will be, which is totally fine. But my credit card does not have a high limit, and so I used my debit card, and they pre-authed my debit card for like $350 in some sense, meaning they took that from my account, and the actual total I spent was $256.26. So, and as of right now, an hour or so after getting home, or almost an hour later, they haven't adjusted that yet. So I'm thinking maybe because it's after close of business, because it's Saturday night, I'm hoping that I'll see the adjustment in my bank account by either tomorrow morning or hopefully Monday latest, because Monday would be the next business day. $100 difference in my bank account is significant for me. So I'm really hoping that they credit that fairly quickly. As best as possible anyway. I just don't have the luxury of being out $100 for any great length of time. And if by Monday sometime that hasn't been rectified, I'll have to contact them. So, but it was just more convenient tonight. I've been working a lot lately. It was just more convenient to place that order and then run over there after work tonight and pick it up, rather than shopping in person. But I guess, that's the price you pay for convenience, right? So let me show you what I ordered, what I picked up here. I did order 3 advent calendars because there's 3 of us in the house, and I see that there's only 2 here. So the other one I think might have been, I can't remember if it was a Lindt chocolate one or what it was, but the Reese's peanut butter one is for my husband, and the Hershey's chocolate one will probably be for my daughter, and the other one was probably a Lindt one if I'm remembering correctly, and that must be out of stock, because I specifically said for each of them, don't substitute. So they didn't tell me that it wasn't available, but I guess it must not have been. So there's only 2 advent calendars instead of 3, but it's only November 8th, so I have plenty of time to buy a 3rd one yet. I just figured I would do it. I did have a continuity spend offer on this, where if I spent $225, I would earn 33,750 points, which is like $33.75 in points. So I wanted to make sure this order was significant enough to get that. And as I told you already, my total was $256. So I definitely earned those points. So the advent calendars, I believe, let me have a look here. These were $9.97 each. Limit of 2 for each of them. Like, I think each one was limit of 2. So that's fine. I just got 1 of each. Tide Pods, getting a little bit low on laundry detergent, so I grabbed 1 of those, added that to my cart. That was $19.97, limit of 4. It's a little cheap, a little bit, I think the regular price on that's $23.99, so it was a decent savings there. Just grabbed 1 for now. The no-name brand dill pickle chips. These dill chips, I like to put these on sandwiches. We're out of stock of those in the house, so 1 jar of those for $3. I recently made homemade chicken soup and used 3 or 4 cartons of my broth, so I decided to replenish. This is both the chips, both the dill chips and the broth are no name brand. You can see by the yellow packaging with the black bar that says no name. That means it's store brand. And the broth was $1.49, limit of 4. Limit of 4, otherwise they're $1.79. So basically regular price on those is $1.79. Sale price is $1.49 right now for those, which is crazy because I can remember not that long ago they would be on sale for $1. So, you know, welcome to inflation, right? 2 bags of Tostitos Rounds chips. I have 1 bag in my storage downstairs, but it's nice to have a couple more of those on hand. 2 at $4.49. I'd like to have these on hand if you want to make nachos. My version of that is to layer these on a plate, put some salsa on there, and then some grated cheese, and then microwave that for like 30 seconds and melt the cheese. Also, if I make taco dip, I like to use them for that, or taco salad. And then at my husband's request, got two more bags of these Old Dutch Ridgies chips. These are honey barbecue. I actually quite like them too. He's the one that introduced them to me. It says, oh, okay, the price has changed since I did this order, because the Tostitos are saying they're 2 at $4.49, and when I placed this order, or at least when I was loading up my cart, they were $3.99. Now, I placed this order yesterday, Friday, or maybe Thursday night. I think it might have been Thursday night I placed the order. And I think I might have been adding stuff to my cart throughout the week, and they might have been cheaper maybe up until Wednesday. The $3.99 price might have been like a price up until Wednesday, and then started the new flyer on Thursday. So that could have been my mistake on that, because they were $3.99 when I added them, but they're $4.49. And the Ridgies, $3, but limit of 1. And the second one was $3.99 each. They were $3 each when I put them in my cart, or 2 for $6. So obviously that price has changed since I added them to my cart, but that's fine. Otherwise, if I had realized that, I would have just bought the 1 bag for the time being. But then again, 1 bag doesn't go very far in this house, so that's fine. So $3 for the first bag, $3.99 for the other. And then back here, some Armstrong cheese. And there was a points offer on these, that it was a continuity spend on that as well. It was 2,000 points if you bought minimum $20 of, or 2,000 points basically for every $20 of made in Canada cheese. And Armstrong cheese is definitely a Canadian product. So I got 1 block of pizza mozzarella, 1 medium, and 1 marble. These were $7.98, limit of 4. I was going to get 4, but I thought, no, you know what? I don't want to go overboard. This is already a pretty significant grocery shop as it is. So I just stuck with the 3 for right now. 4 liters of Beatrice, 1% milk, $5.83. And then some frozen vegetables. This 2 kilogram bag of no-name brand frozen peas was $6.29. The frozen corn, 2 kilograms of that was also $6.29. This 750 gram bag of California blend, this was more for my daughter's liking. I like the peas and corn. She likes the broccoli and cauliflower. That was $2.69. And then 1 750 gram bag of just mixed garden vegetables. That is green beans, wax beans, and baby carrots. That was also $2.69. Some raw cashews, PC, that is President's Choice. That is also store brand. Raw cashews, we'll snack on them a little bit, but primarily I like to keep some of these on hand to give to our parrots. Now, they're not supposed to have a lot of nuts, a lot of things like that, but the occasional cashew is okay. And Ruby, our African gray parrot in particular, she loves her cashews. I put them in a little tin, and if I rattle that tin, she knows exactly what that sound is, and she gets really excited. A container of red grapes. That was, where's my grapes? $8 for that. A 3 count of English cucumbers. Those were $5, and I do have a points offer on the cucumbers. Celery stalks, that was $4 for those. And then bananas were, what price was the banana? I'm trying to see what the banana price was. I'm actually having trouble. I see where it's listed on here. The grapes were $8. The cucumbers were $5. Celery stalks were $4. It's basically showing only 20 cents for the bananas, which really doesn't make sense. But if you look at it there, right in line, Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay, if they decided to charge me 20 cents for the bananas, then so be it, unless I'm reading that wrong. Feel free to correct me if that's the case, but it certainly looks like, yeah, the cashews were $9. So yeah, like, it looks like we must have been charged either incredibly very little for the bananas, or else I'm reading this wrong. But at any rate, we got a bundle of bananas. They're not ripe. They're going to go in my bowl on the counter, and hopefully they'll ripen up over the next few days. Raisin Bran muffins, $6.44. And then just 2 packages of luncheon meat for myself right now, just to take sandwiches to work, some ham and some oven roasted turkey, $3.50 each. And then some Imodium from the pharmacy, that was $27.99. And 2 boxes of tampons. They are $9.49 each. Those were on my points offers, so I've got some tampons. And there's a couple other things from the pharmacy that I also purchased that have already been put away that I'm not taking out, and both of them were $20.49 each. So here's the breakdown of the points. I got the continuity spend for the cheese, 2,000 points, because you spent over $20 in points. They were $7.98 or $7.97 each, so I spent over $20, got the 2,000 points there. The continuity spend of spending $225, I earned 33,750 points there. And the tampons, 1,600 points, and the cucumbers, 500 points. Total after tax was $256.26. And that means that I earned 37,850 points tonight. That's $37.85 in points earned in one transaction. So I'm now at 508,400 PC Optimum points, meaning I'm at $508 of PC Optimum points. And if I wanted to redeem it all right here, right now, I'd be able to use $500 because it goes in increments of $10. So that is what I picked up at Superstore tonight. I'm just going to put my freezer and fridge items away, and I do have 2 small things. Well, not really small things. They're actually, size-wise, they're decent size items, but a small order that I picked up at Sobeys last night after work. So I'm going to show you those 2 items and the bill for that next. All right, here's the final 2 items from this grocery haul. I picked these up at Sobeys. That was last night, Friday, November 7th, after my shift at work. Kraft Dinner, the 12-pack right now is on for $9.97 at Sobeys for this week, so I grabbed one of those, just a convenience item to have on hand. And then the Purex toilet paper, the 24 double rolls are on for $11.99 this week, so I grabbed 1 package of those. And I also grabbed 4 paper bags because we use those for birdcage cleaning, and we needed 4 more. And that's supposed to be happening tomorrow, so I figured if I'm grabbing a few items, these aren't going to fit in the bags, obviously, but I just tacked them onto my bill. So here we go. I spent the $11.99 on the toilet paper, the $9.97 on the Kraft Dinner, and the 4 at 25-cent paper bags was $1. Staff discount was $2.30. My total after tax was $22.06. Did not earn any Scene Plus points on that order, but my balance is 33,838 Scene Plus points. So I'm sitting at $330 in Scene Plus points right now. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm trying to hopefully get it up to $340 or $350 by the end of November when I start using these. I don't know if I'll quite get that far. It all depends. I don't have, after the size of Superstore order that I made tonight, I don't know that I have a lot of extra left in the grocery budget to spend at Sobeys to try and get my Scene Plus points up to $340 or $350. We'll see. But even if I don't, $330 here and $500 at Superstore in points is pretty good. This sets me up really nicely for the Christmas season to have lots of points that I can spend on Christmas baking supplies and groceries and our turkey dinner and the whole bit. So, you know, even if I don't get anything more in the way of points for Scene or PC between now and the end of November, I'm happy with where I sit. I've worked all year to save this much, and I'm happy with this. If I happen to get some more before I start redeeming, great, but even so, I think I did pretty well this week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and thank you for those of you who have recently subscribed, and I hope you're having a great week. It is Saturday night, November 8th. I finished work at 7, ducked over to Superstore, picked up my grocery order, laid it out, filmed it, and then stepped away for a minute to finish watching to see who was going to go to the Grey Cup, because my team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, was playing the BC Lions tonight, and they won within like less than a minute to spare. So they are on their way to the Grey Cup. 2 weekends from now for the first time since 2013. So this is a big thing for them and me. Even though I live in Manitoba, Canada, I grew up one province west of here in Saskatchewan, and I am still a Rough Riders girl at heart. So I'm happy, but I need to rest my voice now for the rest of the evening. I'm helping lead singing tomorrow morning in church on worship team. And so, yeah, I've been screaming at the TV and filming a video, so now it's time to rest my voice. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video, everybody. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.